This is the Sting's bi-weekly podcast called The Buzz, and you're listening to us from Azle, Texas. I'm Cynthia Garcia, and I'm here with my other co-hosts, Erika Clayton and Kenny Caswell. This week's podcast focuses on Brooke Overton, the costume designer for the theater program here at AHS.
Could you, I just wanted to start this out. Could you tell us, what it's like?
It's pretty fun. A lot of work. It's not easy, but it's fun. Kind of stressful sometimes too, but honestly, I love how everything always ends out.
Did you start learning everything, doing this by yourself?
I was familiar with costumes beforehand, and I had kind of been taught a little bit last year, but this year we didn't have any parent volunteers, and they kind of helped out a lot, so I did have to learn some of it on my own.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do that. That sounds too stressful. How many costumes do you have to make for, a show typically?
It depends on the size of the cast. For Oklahoma, I think we have 23 costumes.
And you have to make them all by yourself?
No, I do have a crew that helps me make them.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't make them all by myself, and we do buy some things too.
And is it out of a fundraiser from the parents or donators, or is it kind of just the crew, the whole cast has to
Okay,
do a
so
fundraiser?
we do fundraisers, by selling ads for the playbill, and we also have a bit of a budget from the school. So we use both of those to buy our costumes and the materials we need, and we do pull some of our stuff from the stuff we already have from past shows, because we can use some of that.
That's cool. Do you have any advice for anyone who's doing the position later on? Because you're going to be leaving this year, right? Or after this year?
I am leaving this year. I am a senior, so I would say do your best. And you may not know all the answers right away, but you also have your directors and other people you can reach out to for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because it's a lot to do on your own.
So what is it like to be a part of theater or something? Because theater is pretty cool. So how do you feel to be a part of something that's really cool like that?
Being a part of theater is awesome. I love being a part of theater, and as a whole, the people in theater, we're kind of like a family, and it's cheesy and cliche to say, but it's so true. It's a huge support system, and I met a lot of my friends there, and a lot of my friends are in theater. Most of my friends are in theater, really. It's one of my favorite places to be.
What's your favorite costume that you've put together from anywhere, whenever you first?
I'd say my favorite costume that I've made, when we did A Midsummer Night's Dream, there was a character, Hippolyta, and we made her costume from scratch, but I designed the part of the pattern for that, and then I took a pattern from something else, and I altered it a little bit, and I kind of made that whole thing from scratch, and it was pretty cool, and it looked really cool on stage. Up close it was kind of iffy, but on stage it looked really great, and I'm really proud of it.
And do the actors or the crew, the cast, do you guys get to keep past costumes like that?
So the department keeps the costumes that we bought or made up at the school, but if someone brings in a piece from home, they keep that. But mostly the department keeps the stuff, so we have a lot of our costumes that we've made from past shows from the past 15 years still back in still back in the department where we keep all our costumes.
Were you a costume designer your entire theater career?
No, I wasn't the costume designer until this year, and the position of costume designer wasn't always as big as it is this year, because last year and all my other years in high school, we had parent volunteers that helped us a lot with designs, but this year we didn't really have as much access to those parent volunteers, so I had to do a lot of it on my own, and I had to do a lot of research on my own. So I wasn't costume designer at first.
Oh yeah. Do you prefer being a costume designer?
I do enjoy being a costume designer. It's very cool to like dream up the ideas and think them up and draw them out and then see them come to life. Like it's really cool to see that happen. And like knowing like, hey, I came up with that. It's so cool.
And as you like, I'm sure that like a lot's going on in your mind when all the theater stuff is going on. Like I know even like outside of theater, I'm in band, me and Cynthia are in band. We have people in theater that are also in band, and we can see like all the time how stressed they are and how much they like work they put into like production and all that. So you said that you were really proud with like all the costumes and stuff. So when you perform or when it's during that time you're performing a show, do you think back of anything that you're most proud of or that you're most memorable of, or is that all kind of just like a big hurry to get everything like done?
While we're performing, I am busy focusing like on the show and making sure nothing goes wrong with anyone's costumes, like while they're in the wings or while they're on stage. But like before the shows, I see everyone in costume, and I look back and I see, like, I think of all the work we've done, and I see where it got us, and I'm so proud of everyone who worked on the costumes, and also I feel very accomplished with myself just a little bit because I was able to lead everybody to where we ended up.
Are we going to do the fun questions now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just have some random fun questions to ask to end the podcast. Okay, so what would your superhero costume look like?
Oh my goodness. I don't want to say it would have a cape, but I'm smarter than that. I watched Incredibles and the Mo Wisdom. No cape. I don't know. I haven't really thought about it that much. I don't know. I'd make it look cool, but I don't know what cool means until I have to think about stuff.
It's understandable.
So I'm not actually sure what it would look like, but I know it'd look cool. It'd be more than one color. Probably. Probably black, honestly, with a color highlights.
Can't go wrong with black.
Who or where would you haunt if you were a ghost?
Oh, who? I would probably I don't know. I'd really just haunt people that I don't like and inconvenience them as much as possible. Like, I wouldn't do anything to harm them, but I would, move their keys, rearrange their silverware drawer. Like, I would inconvenience someone. So just the houses of people I don't like.
What make-believe world would you want to live in?
Ooh, that is a good question. I like this world pretty well.
Okay, would you rather be the best player on a terrible team or the worst player on a great team?
I think the worst player on a great team. Because being the worst player on a great team doesn't mean I'm bad. It just means I'm not as good as everybody else. But, I can still be good if it's a really great team. So I'd rather be the worst player on a great team because I still have a chance of being good.
Thank you for being a guest on our first podcast.
No problem.
We really liked having you here.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, that was our first episode of The Buzz. I'm Erika Clayton, and join us next week for when we interview the Drumline crew and see how they're going with their season.